Okay, it's working. Here we go.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to a very, very delayed ULC. Unfortunately, a few little issues with the game ready for tonight. But we're here for round 6 of the season today at the Belgian Grand Prix. And actually, so far qualifying hasn't been too much of a telling story. It has been changeable conditions, so it appears that we're going to be waiting for everyone on their flying laps right towards the end of this session. We've got 50 seconds to go, as you can see, and well, I think we can all safely agree that the times are going to be absolutely crumbling. But I'm joined once again by James. How are we doing tonight, buddy? You ready for some more exciting racing?
Yeah, I am, and just come off a very good Tier 2 race. I'm sure that we're going to see that here in Tier 1, and we could be seeing a mix-up grid, because this is effectively now one-shot qualifying now with 25 seconds to go, and only 8 people on set times.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting, as well as the fact, obviously, we sort of left the first half of the season on a bit of a cliffhanger. I don't think we can really avoid that moving into this race. Obviously, we had a bit of a spat between a couple of drivers, but hopefully we can sort of leave that in the past and concentrate on this final 5 rounds of the season. If I'm not mistaken, Langman there just not being able to get through on a time, but I think just about everyone else has been able to get through. I think we have got Trumper, if I'm not mistaken, might actually be the final car out on a
No, it'll be
run.
Finn.
No, I think we got it will be the Flying Finn then, so that is very,
Yeah.
very interesting. Based on the times, I think that the track is, well, all but completely dry at this moment. It will just be a case of congestion, I feel, in this dying few seconds of this stint. VRT Callum, still racing for TWRL all the way up in P2 at the moment. Fractions off RG Matiz there, and he's on the super soft tyres, so that's been a very, very good run by him. There is RG Matiz getting nearly held up by Feisty Ted. NLR Evo, though, goes 1.5 seconds clear of everyone else, obviously last time out to race Victor. So very, very good job by him. And a 1:43.6, that is a very, very competitive lap time there. Joe through in P2 on a 1 minute 44.5, and still obviously wait for a lot of, you know, sort of the big names to really drop. That 1:43.6, I feel, will be a very, very strong benchmark as we come towards the end of the session there. Arctic Avenger slots himself up into P2. I'm on board, actually, with RG Matiz as he comes down towards Blanchard here. Overall, seems like he's had quite a good lap here. Don't think he's made any particular mistakes. It will just be a case of whether he has still got fuel in the car, so obviously that makes sure that he can run this whole lap on max through the final corner here. The times are still crumbling. Alonso, Simon goes on to provisional pole. Matiz, though, goes even quicker there, but STSF1 Alonso and Tor Leopard doing, well, incredible work on that set of these super softs there, but now down to Flying Finn. He only goes P6, so he's slower than both his brother and Leopard there on the same compounded tyre, but that's an interesting split strategy. We've got STSF1 on the supers and AOR on the ultra softs there, so they've got the track position ready for the start, but this could be very, very interesting. I think we have basically finished everyone's qualifying runs. I think they were just waiting for Monkey Face plays at the end of the session there, but that was interesting, we can safely say. A bit frantic as well, but you know, sometimes the best qualifying sessions are a bit like that. But yeah, RG Matiz appears to have lined up on the pole, and yes, we get confirmation of that now. RG Matiz on pole once more in ULC on a 1 minute 43.2, a very, very quick lap from him. ESR Simon, actually, if I'm not mistaken, the first non-STS/AOR runner to start on the front row this season in the Williams car. They're doing very, very well on a 1:43.420. Evo third, STSF Alonso, the fastest driver on that set of the super softs there with Leopard. Just behind him, Flying Finn in P6 there. Arctic Avenger 7th, Trumper 8th, BPRL Midget in that Toro Rosso. They took their first point last time out at Hungary. I'm sure they'll be looking to try and do that again. Joe in 10th, Amazement 11th, VRT Cal 12th, Ted 13th, EVR Reynolds 14th, Monkey Face plays 15th, Jonas in P17 there, and I think we've got a couple. We've actually got a disconnected Renault car there with Jork and Sturm not being able to set a time there. But James, who's your money on coming into this race then, buddy?
Well, I think that RG Matiz there has pulled a blinder, and I think that he's got a really good position now going into this race. Finn, he went on those super soft tyres thinking, well, the track's going to be wet, and we know there's not that much disparity between the compounds, and that's cost him in quali, but it does put him in a good position in the race. So I think Matiz, but Finn does have a chance, at least with those different compounds.
He
And also
certainly,
can't let out Evo either.
he certainly does. I'm gonna have to let you deal with the start today, buddy, because well, I'm currently sat in a Ferrari somehow. Which I admit it's probably a better seat in the house, but it's not quite the right one.
Same
But
here
yeah,
with
that's unfortunately kind of as a result of all the issues that we've had. But yeah, I'll happily talk through the start and hopefully give you a good idea without. Obviously, we've got Gorsh on the cameras, so he'll be able to fight. But so yeah, we have 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it is lights out and away we go. And RG looks to have a clean start. He's going to keep that lead into turn 1, but can Evo get up the inside of Simon? No, he can't. That's going to be held there by Simon. As it's Flying Finn going up a position into 5th place. He's gained something. He's now right behind his brother. As we go onto the camel straight, this is going to be really crucial run. See on the first lap, a lot of positions could change. Simon.
Oh, but a huge for 3 cars out, Trumper Umper. Arctic Avenger, that was huge. I think all 3 cars there have all, well, I think the Williams is looking completely wrecked. But sorry, carry on, mate.
Yeah, but yeah, to that lead, so no real change there. It stays the same, with just Finn moving up 1 place. Yeah, big crash there, and that's obviously only 15 cars actually left running now. We had a few people missing as well, so yeah, good chance for, again, like we saw last week, a good chance for some points to be scored here by some of the smaller leagues, and yeah, that'll be interesting to see what people can do from that now.
It certainly will, and having a look through, it seems that the main big winners there were Feisty Ted making up 4 places, and EVR all-rounder. I think that might be a little bit lagging from him, but according to this, he has made up 6 or 7 places there. I think that's actually a bit of Reynolds' connection having its own afternoon once more there. So it seems that, obviously a lot of the drivers towards the back of the field, they've still got a lot of work to do here. And I'm going to have a look actually at the tyres. Everyone from 10th down is on a set of the soft tyres there. So it's definitely going to be a one-stop this race, but it's just a case of will the undercut work from at the end.
Yeah, we did actually, it will be a one-stop, you're right, for the people right up at the front. We did see a few people actually trying the 2-stops, though, in the Tier 2 race that just went, which was an interesting call. But yeah, it'll be most people going on that one-stop with these soft rounds trying to go long and make an advantage at the end of the race, which made the Tier 2 race very interesting with the traffic. So that's something that you've pointed out there that could be really crucial for the rest of the race.
Certainly could, but at the front, RG Matiz does still lead. We've got Evo now. He's closing up on Simon here, and I feel he's really got to sort of pounce on this opportunity as quickly as he can, because sort of around lap 6 or lap 7, those super softs will really they'll sort of come into their own, and we'll see a lot of the ultra soft runners have to pit, as well as then we'll see the super soft drivers really start to sort of make inroads on those that try and stretch them out just a couple more laps. Interestingly enough, though, Tall Leopard here, he can really sort of try and stick with those 2 Mercedes drivers just ahead of him. I bet I'd say he's probably got 2 of the best mentals at the moment, on the Xbox side of this game. So he certainly, he can try and follow those 2, whether he'll try and just copy their strategies throughout this race and hope, that he can cling on in terms of the pace. He's very, very quick on this game. There is no denying that. So it'll be interesting to see what he's able to do. Joe just behind him, Midget up 1 place, up into P8 there, and this, well, as long as obviously I don't want to jinx it for him, but if he can hold on to this place, this would be, once again, absolutely crucial for BPRL. Position change-wise, let's have a look. Overall, we've obviously got the Flying Finn now. It's actually moved past SCSF for Alonso there. I think I may have missed that one. Not 100% sure if we were able to catch it on the cameras, but Finn I'm into P4 now, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can try and, really sort of hammer Evo if he can't jump Simon.
Yeah, and that would be really crucial then, because then there's that buffering, obviously, between the AOR and the SDS guys, which is something that they'll really want. At the moment, Evo is a little bit exposed there to Finn. Obviously, ideal, as we saw kind of last week, this effect, obviously that was Hungary, a bit different. But the effect that one driver can have holding up the other and bringing their teammate into play. So that would important if Evo could do that, and he's looking around the outside now.
Right around the outside. That is certainly
crucial.
a very, very good move from him, and that, as you rightfully said, is crucial now. But it's going to be interesting to see what Simon does from here. Does he focus on still trying to attack Evo, or does he really sort of focus on the cars behind him. That's if, even if he holds them up. I'm not too sure. Obviously, he is still certainly one of the best drivers here outside of the AOR and STSF1 doubles. So it'll be interesting to see, that Williams really sort of wants to be fighting there as Finn. A big snap of oversteer there as he goes through corner. That was certainly not somewhere you want to be, as Alonso therefore closes all back up, and you just see Simon get that a little bit further away once more here. But lap 3 of this race, obviously, that doesn't sound like much, but round Spa, we're already 10% into this race, so time does certainly fly around in this Spa-Francorchamps circuit. It's still personally my favourite circuit on the F1 calendar here, so we've still got 19 more laps of hopefully great racing.
Yeah, and I'm sure we will see that. Obviously, these cars being really close at the start is something that we hope goes on throughout the race, and I think it will. And that's obviously going to bring some really interesting battles. And, as I said, those later in the race, those people in the traffic on the soft tyres, that is going to be really, really interesting. And
yeah, and I think it's crucial for everyone on the soft tyres here to really sort of just work together, because obviously that overcut will mean they're a huge amount quicker at the end of the race, and obviously if they can hang on in this first stint, it'll be really, really ideal. But if they all get caught up fighting each other, well, then they could all cost each other, the chance of potential points here. And obviously it's people like Midget who's out trying to go side by side with Joe here. He's giving a bit of ease as they come up the Camel straight to the outside. Can he do what Evo did one lap earlier? Joe simply deep though into the corner, and that is up to P7 for BPRL Midget there, and that's potential 6 points in this race. And I was just going to say he's going to be very, very vulnerable there, but I can just see Simon now has lost the place to the Flying Finn here, so that is very, very critical as well. But sorry, yeah, to go back to my original point though, the guys on the softs, obviously if they can work together towards the end of this race and really sort of make inroads, people like Joe and Midget are going to be so, so vulnerable right at the end of this stint here. All-rounder is leading that little train in the Renault car at the moment, so it's going to be critical to see what these guys do play, as Joe still trying to get back past Midget there. He doesn't seem to be in the rhythm here, and this is quite surprising from Joe, because albeit he obviously hasn't been right at the very front end of this field, he's always been very, very quick, and it just seems at the moment, I don't know if it's set up or what, but All-Rounder on the set of the soft tyres here is going to potentially try and have a look up past him there. I think we've got also a little bit of battle between STSF Alonso and Simon there in towards the bus stop chicane. They're going side by side here. Simon's going to try and do everything he can to defend, and perhaps Leopard could benefit from this as well. He's got Slipstream, he's got the DRS out of the final corner, and he's going to try and have a look to the inside of the Mercedes driver there, dives it on the brakes almost at the same point there. He's going to try and slot past, and there a tiny bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, but STSF Alonso is able to hold on to that position just for now. However, this could get very, very spicy. As we can see just behind though, All-Rounder has now moved past Joe, and potentially Reynolds could have a look past the pair of them if he, if he gets a good run up through Eau Rouge here. Obviously very, very critical that he does not get a warning forward corner cut in there. But you see Joe, All-Rounder, everyone's got the DRS here, so Midget clearly hasn't been able to break away just yet. There and nowhere for Reynolds to go here. And obviously with the way the slipstream works around this circuit, obviously you think it's a lot easier to overtake than around a lot of tracks, but obviously if you can't make that move up the Camel Straight, you really do struggle, for most of the rest of the lap here. But Reynolds, he's going to try and prove me wrong there. A bit of contact, I think, between him and the McLaren, but he does move up into P9 of the Grand Prix there. So Joe is just going backwards at this moment in time. He's got Jort now all over the back of him as well there, James. And this is very, very interesting to see what appears the Ultra Softs are going off even quicker than we thought. But Reynolds,
good save.
What has happened to him
lost
there?
A lot of time still. Yeah, he just lost the car. I think he ran a little bit wide, got the obviously less grippy kind of concrete, and then just spun the car. Managed to save it before disaster, but yeah, he's lost out badly there. Around about 4 seconds he's lost.
That is absolutely crucial here, but the battle between STSF Alonso and ESR Simon has not cooled down just yet. Leopard has sort of dropped back just a tiny bit from this duo there. He breaks very, very late into the final chicane there. I thought that was going to be a monumental crash, but fortunately they're both able to get out of that as Evo dives into the pits, and that is quite early, I must admit, so he must be trying to, go for the undercut strategy here. I think, that Finn and Alonso are going to have to move on to a set of the softs as well towards the end of this Grand Prix. I'll be very surprised if they're able to make the Ultra Soft Super Soft, or sorry, the Super Soft Ultra Soft stint work. But that is very, very interesting from Evo there. Obviously, he was a bit behind, so it seems sensible. You know, he sort of protects himself from that undercut. But now that gives Finn 2.5 seconds of clean air to really sort of try and close down on the RG Matiz there. As soon as I'm saying that, though, STSF1 Alonso past ESR Simon up into P3 of this race as Leopard just tries to hang on in there at the moment, still trying to keep sight of those Mercedes drivers there. But you just see, James, how much time Alonso's lost there, and he's going to lose even more here trying to go side by side once again with Simon there. He's already 3.5 seconds back from his brother here, and that's quite a surprise, you know, that he's been able to get away so quickly here. But still, the action continues. We've got Leopard trying it. Well, he thought about going for a move down the inside at Pool there, but I think we can both agree that is somewhere you do not want to be going side by side.
Absolutely not. That would have been an aeroplane crash, let's be honest, if he'd done that. So yeah, a good decision to back out of that move. But yeah, I think with regards to Evo, I think that's a clever idea. Just trying something a bit different. Obviously, we know that Finn's going to go long, so it doesn't have to worry about the undercut from him. But if Evo can get into a good position up the road, that could be quite handy. But Leopard's really going for it now. He's looking down the inside of Simon into Blanchimont.
Oh no, that is
massive
not
crash.
what you want to be doing there.
Oh
That
my
is...
goodness, they avoided the walls somehow, but they've still lost a lot of time. But how on earth did they not go flying into the barriers there? That is crazy.
And Midget now up into P5. Jonas is into P4 on the set of the soft tyres there. He's up 13 places in this Grand Prix. Matizlo dives into the pits to the left now with an STSF1 top 2 here, and it's going to be interesting to see Evo. Is he in clear air at the moment? Evo, I think, is just about, and I think, no, he's not. He's just come out behind Reynolds and Jork there, and Matiz is just about. Is he going to be able to get out just ahead of him? He won't have such a good run up the straight here, and whether Jork's going to try and fight him or not, we shall have to wait and see here. I think by this point, sort of the speeds have basically leveled themselves out, but Jork will have the DRS here, and it is critical for Matiz that he tries to defend that position. Trumpa has now gone as well. There is Reynolds is going to try and capitalise on this. Is he going to go down the inside of Jork? Yes, he does. Up into P6 of the Grand Prix once more here, and that has been absolutely crucial for RG Matiz. But for poor Evo, he just can't make it work so far. He might try to look down the inside here. He's got to make these positions move. He's got to make, these positions stick, even as he now goes past Jork there and up into P7. There's a bit of contact with him and Reynolds. Oh, Reynolds, just that little bit of connection issues from him. Fortunately, he hasn't played havoc to Matiz's race there. But yeah, that is very, very interesting to see. And now we're just going to have to watch as the Flying Finn and STSF run on. So it'll be interesting to see when they opt to make their pit stops, because they've really sort of got to try and utilise this set of these super soft tyres. You know, it's a balancing act with F1 2017. I think we can all agree. It's really, really difficult to try and manage when you do make those pit stops, I think. Now, Evo is still all over the back of Reynolds here. He surely is going to have to make that move either by Blanchimont. Obviously, we saw Reynolds' Force India teammate not able to make it work so well, but I think, yeah, Evo is going to be right past the Force India there before they even get into Blanchimont there. So that moves him back up into what we think now is a provisional P2, as now Alonso has dived into the pits, and that is very, very interesting. Very, very early, in personal opinion, to be going onto that tyre, James. Well, obviously, I'm sure, buddy, you know more than that about me. You know more than me about that.
Yeah, I think that's mostly just to cover off the undercut. I think it is very powerful round here, which we've seen, and yeah, I think that was just he's lost out badly, hasn't he? He's quite a long way back now. Just trying to reduce that loss. I think that's going to be the same with Finn, as Alonso actually comes up behind Monkey Face Place as well. So yeah, just covering off the undercut, not really worth taking the tyres really long. Those super softs, if you're going to lose out from it, lose too much time.
Oh, Monkey Face Place doesn't want to give this up though. A tiny bit of contact made between him and Alonso there, and I'm sure Alonso is already getting very, very angry in the cockpit of that Mercedes car. But obviously, this is a battle for track position here, and Monkey Face Place does not have to give it up just yet. You know, he can play his own race. If he wants to hold up STSF Alonso, then he is more than entitled to, but I don't think it's going to last much longer here. Alonso down the inside in towards P1 there, and Monkey Face Plays he picks the wise decision there, backs out of it there, but he's going to come back at him down towards the exit of a P1 here. Is he going to try to look around the outside? Unfortunately, not going to be able to make that stick, and now he slots in to, well, P8 at this current time of this Grand Prix. But let's go on board with the Flying Finn. Is he going to dive into the pits this lap? Yes, he does. And I think it'll be interesting. Is he going to come out with Jork and Reynolds here, or is he just going to come out behind him? He was about 3.5 seconds ahead of his teammates before the pit stops. So it's going to be interesting to see whether that gap has stayed level here. But yeah, we're now going to see Jonas go from last to first in this race in just 9 laps there, as Matiz already passed the Mercedes driver there. He's going to be a good few seconds up the road. Evo, I think, is going to be out ahead of him as well. And now it's going to be crucial for these two to really try and hold their tyres. And it's not going to be as far away as I thought here. And I think, yeah, he's going to be, sorry, the Flying Finn there is going to be safe from the Force India behind. So potentially now we could see a little bit of a dilemma for Evo here. Does he hold up and just, you know, sort of let Matiz really try and pull that margin a bit more, you know, get it to a safe distance, or does he really just focus on trying to make sure he does score as many points as he possibly can for himself as well in this race? Evo, I can't imagine, is the most selfish person in the world, you know, we've seen before. He is very much the team player in this series, as well as generally on the racetrack, so it'll be interesting to see what he does over these next couple of laps. But obviously he's got the Flying Finn all over the back of him. We're getting flashbacks to Hungary now, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. These people that can't stay away from each other on track, and we love that. But yeah, that hasn't worked out too badly for Finn. I did fear that it would kind of be like Alonso and he end up in no man's land, but he's not. He is still in the fight, but he has got a lot of work to do. Obviously, as we said, he's got to pass Evo, which is going to be tough. And then he's got a pretty big gap to Matiz. So yeah, it could fizzle out and nothing happen, or it could go really intense for the chase here. Obviously, Finn on those much newer tyres, 2 laps newer, aren't they, than Matiz? So it's not that much, but enough to give him a sizable advantage, you would imagine.
Every little helps is certainly the right thing to be saying right now. And I think, to be honest, as much as we want to see great action every single week, could we deal with another Matiz Finn argument after the race? I think that might be, you know, potentially we might get to the end of the season if these two are still having battles week in, week out. Then what we could be seeing, well and truly, the end of a friendship. I must say, for everyone in the race, obviously in the stream, that after that argument in the interviews, it went on for a little while longer. I must admit, once the stream was ended here, we've got Amazement dives in to the pits as Feisty Ted has retired from the Grand Prix in, well, it was effectively my Ferrari teammate coming to this race, so I don't know what's happened to Ted there. I don't know if he's just had a bad afternoon, and well, he's going to enjoy some of the Belgian sun whilst the others go through the second half of this race there. Matiz, though, has now moved past all-rounder as well, up into the lead of this race once more. And now I think we've got, well, we can see the Flying Finn is making huge inroads on Evo here, and this is sort of the balancing act as well that I've just thought about with Evo. If he holds up Flying Finn too much, will he potentially lose out on even more points? You know, obviously if Alonso behind is able to close up to the pair of them, obviously, because that'll mean, rather than say losing out on 3 points, but just letting the Flying Finn through and him potentially being able to hassle Matiz obviously at the front, or does he just try and hold Matiz, obviously the pair of them up, sorry, and then potentially lose out on 6 points for a while? The mind games are certainly coming in. I don't know if Evo's got his calculator out at this moment in time, but you know, it'd certainly be something I'd be trying to look into at this moment in time. Reynolds, though, still just behind him, as now we've got Alonso all over the back of Jork just behind in that Red Bull car. What's he going to be able to do as we come through Blanchemont here? They're going to be very, very close here. I think Jork, he's going to pull to the outside there. Is he going to make too much of a fuss of this? He does break quite late into the chicane there, but STSF Alonso flies past him up into P6 of this race, effectively P4, obviously, as we've still got Reynolds and all-rounder. They need to make another pit, well, their first pit stop even of the day here. But yeah, this could be shaping up to be very, very interesting. And well, it was Evo's birthday earlier on this week, so I don't think, you know, he wants all the fights in the world. Perhaps he, you know, may have wanted a bit more of a relaxing evening here tonight, but still, you know, this could shape up to be very, very interesting over these next few laps. Perhaps even we can see Jonas get involved just up the road, obviously. A lot older tyres on his car. If these two hold each other up, maybe we can see him really closing them back down towards the end of this race. So I'm having a quick flick through the field, though. And I think the only... we've got BPR, Midget, Leopard and Simon. All still very, very close.
Finn's going side by side with Evo. Sorry to butt in, but
oh,
this is
so he is,
crucial.
yeah. It certainly is, buddy. I'll let you carry on with that one.
Yeah, I think he's had his shot there, just going side by side around the corner before the no name. But yeah, he's got to slot in behind now, obviously, with this dirty air. But yeah, it does look like he's got the pace advantage, but more and more laps they do, the more and more Matiz is getting away at the front, because obviously they've got that all-rounder in between as well. Yeah, it's going to be really crucial. Can Finn get past here, perhaps? Will depend on whether slipstream is operational or not, which it quite often isn't. But yeah, running through Blanchard, I think he's quite got the run to have go into the bus stop, but we know Finn, he's a real go-getter, and he is too far back on this occasion. He's going to try and set it up on the camera straight, I think.
Yeah, he certainly was not close enough just yet, and I don't think, I don't think we would have been seeing any Archie with his esque dive bombs right there from him. You know, there's still 10 laps to go in this race. He's quite clearly at the moment got the pace and the tyre advantage over Evo here, so this could be very, very interesting to see if Evo can hold on for much longer here as they could blast through a ruse nearly 200 miles an hour as they come out onto the Kemmel Straight here. Obviously, Finn will have the slipstream, the DRS once more, and he just isn't close enough to Evo here, so perhaps he's running lower wings as well, which could really, really help him at this stage of the race. He closes up so much as they come through the chicane at the end of the straight there, but Evo, it's almost like he's pulling away down the straight. It's almost like watching the Ferrari versus the Mercedes in the Grand Prix there as Finn. There's a little bit of a shuffle there that does actually off-put Evo ever so slightly there as he makes a bit of a mistake through the corner. So this is getting very, very interesting now. SCSF Alonso just behind now is up into P5 of this race, effectively P4 here as it is, well, it's shaping up to be very, very close. Sorry, just go back on board with Finn, and it appears that he's pushing Evo through the next corner. Oh, there's contact there as soon as I say that, and that, well, it hasn't given Evo all the breathing room in the world there, but it's given him another half a second worth of time here, and it's just a case now of trying to hold on now. I'm not too sure if that was a bit of a desync or just, just neither of them willing to budge an inch almost. But yeah, that was the tension's rising, I feel, in this race, and for Evo now, it's crucial that he jumps Jonas.
Yeah, that's taken a lot longer than I thought, actually. I thought that it'd be past, basically, by now, but Wander doing a really good job, actually. He's coming into the pits now, so he's not going to worry about that. That's out of the question. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out, but yeah, that kind of helps Evo, but then also means that he won't get DRS, which leaves him more vulnerable now to Finn going onto the straight this time. But at least he hasn't got to worry about passing another car and can fully focus on defending now.
All-rounder is going on to a set of the super soft tyres there. I think Reynolds is going to do the same as well as Joke there, so they've all gone on to the set of the super soft, so it's going to be interesting to see where they do come out in this race. OMG, it's Joe, I think, still has not... No, everyone has picked, in this Grand Prix. Of course, Joe did. He was in the top 10. So he's come out still behind Jonas there, and Jonas has come out of the pits in P5. So that strategy has really worked out well for him. Yeah, how has he done that? That seems like he's made a lot more inroads than I ever expected him to.
Yeah, I think we saw, obviously, that incident between Leopard and Simon, I think, probably would have played into his hands quite a bit. Remember that just before they pitted. I think he's then carried good... Oh, he's just picked up a penalty.
That's how he's made up all that time.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think he was just, obviously, had that good pace on the softs, got into a rhythm, and with other people kind of running into trouble, he's managed to do a good job there. Yeah, I don't think that 3-second time penalty will cost him, because he should be able to pull away enough from the guys behind. But obviously he's going to be careful that he doesn't pick up any more, because then it will cost him. Yeah, but could he get close to these three up in front of him? Obviously that penalty in the long run may cost him, but if Evo, if Evo really sort of stamps his authority, I'm defending this P2 for all my worth, then, well, we could see Jonas. He should theoretically, be making a good sort of second and a half, potentially around, obviously, such a long circuit, up a lap anyway over these next couple of laps, obviously, with the fresher, quicker tyres. So, this race, we could see Jonas on a bit of a charge here, potentially hassling for a podium, which I think, would be a welcome sight to see the Renault on the podium, as it obviously has mainly been filled out of Saubers and Mercedes. Not something we usually expect to say in Formula 1, especially in the Saubers case here, but this could be shaping up. He's already brought that gap down to under 10 seconds, and he's pulled out nearly 2 on Joe instantly here. So Jonas is looking good. Yep, and we haven't really seen that from him this season yet, have we? We know he's a very, very good driver, but to be honest, he hasn't really put in the performance yet. And well, this is just showing what he really is capable of, what we know he can do.
Well, I think that's the thing with Jonas, obviously. I think the only sort of real time we've seen Jonas sort of push himself to the limit, it must be F1 Esports back in London all those months ago. I remember watching him over there, and, you know, he was doing such an incredible job there. And just since then, I don't know if it's just been lack of enjoyment with the game or what. You know, perhaps he burnt himself out a bit too early on in the cycle. But we just haven't seen that Jonas again here. We're still on board, though, with the Flying Finn and Evo there. We're gonna give a Jonas life story here whilst we watch incredible battles between the cars that he's hoping to catch there as Finn tries to look round the outside of Evo there. He's going to shut the door on that as we come through Stavilo here, and I think, yeah, Evo going to be able to hold on to that for now, but for how much longer here? Is he going to try and go defensive into Blanchard there and try to get back to the inside for the bus stop chicane? I think that's what he's going to have to try and do here. I think Finn isn't close enough just yet, and just once again, he just isn't closing that gap. He dives it down the inside, though. Evo, oddly enough, did give him the room there. He's going to try and hold it right around the outside, give him the inside through the final corner there. But Finn, better on the traction. He will have the DRS down towards the finish line here. But potentially Evo, we could see him try and make that move back up through Eau Rouge and down the Camel Straight once more here. Is Finn going to get a good run out? Yes, he does. But Evo able to match him there. And, well, all-rounder has taken another second out of STSF Alonso here on that lap, so he is still certainly closing up. Whether it'll be quick enough, we'll have to wait and see. But I think that there's still the place to be is this battle between Evo and the Flying Finn here. Having a look on board from the Sauber car, he has definitely closing up. And Finn goes defensive there, but I don't think he's not going to be able to make that move stick unless Finn makes a little bit of a mistake here. Evo going to try and make the switchback move as much as possible here. He's got red flags out in the yellow flags out in the final sector. I think that was red flags out. Would be very, very interesting. I think that would certainly change this race up a bit more than any of us have expected there. But Evo just doesn't appear that he's going to be able to make that move now. And, well, Finn, he's got to run. He's got, what, 7 laps to try and close up 8.5 seconds on RG Matiz. And, well, I think if that was nearly anyone else on this game, you know, that would be very, very... Well, we could see it potentially happen for the Flying Finn. But RG Matiz is certainly, as we've seen in many, many leagues, the one guy that really, on his day, is just about able to match the Flying Finn here. So I think that's a tall order, I feel, between the top two. And now it's a case of trying to find the action elsewhere.
Yeah, I think there is plenty of it. We've got a good battle for 6th. I would say that's what we're going to be looking out for, probably. 3 cars within a second.
We certainly do. And I think Leopard, obviously, will have the he'll have the freshly got mounted tyres, I would have thought. Obviously, where he did go on that set of the super softs here, and he's all over the back of Joe here. It's been quite an odd little race, in all honesty. I think we got Reynolds, and no, I think that was Reynolds once again. His internet having its holiday once more. They're still sort of lagging all over the place. But yeah, I think we've got, well, his teammate Leopard still all over the back of OMG. It's Joe here, and what can we see through the final couple of corners? Could we see Simon potentially pounce on this as well? As he does get a very, very good run at the final corner. Could he look to the inside? Joe just about defends from it. They're placing his car beautifully. A little bit of contact through turn 1, not going to cost either of them there. As Simon just had a little bit of a sniff up the inside there, you know. Don't want to let these guys forget that that Williams car is still there and obviously ready to make the move if he possibly can. And I must admit, it looks a bit odd watching a McLaren Honda defend itself from a four-cylinder in a Williams down the straight, but obviously anything can happen in ULC here, and it just appears that Leopard isn't able to get close enough to Joe down this straight here. So whether he's running higher wings or what here, we'll have to wait and see over these next couple of laps, because he seems to be so much quicker through this middle sector, but just not able to capitalise in the first sector anymore, James, there. And this is, it's almost frustrating to watch, if you get what I mean, because obviously we're still seeing brilliant racing here, but you just think, just close that bit more, just bunging in max revs or whatever from qualifying potentially. Just do anything you can to get that bit closer.
Yeah, and I think obviously he's going to be a little bit cagey, isn't he? Is Leopard following what happened earlier, where he did try something pretty aggressive. I don't think he did anything wrong personally from the view, but he did try something aggressive and it didn't really work. Oh, you had a bit of a moment there. But yeah, he's going to be a little bit cagey, and I think we saw that there. Not quite wanting to chuck it up the inside of Joe trying to play the long game. He's still got a few laps to try and get through. But yeah, now he's got to be worrying about Simon behind. Finn does the fastest lap of the race. That's impressive on the soft tyres. You'd thought one of these super soft runners would have that. That just shows his pace. But yeah, I think Leopard,
very interesting.
He's got the pace. but just will he be able to get through is the big question, as you say.
Yeah, it's looking interesting at the moment. I must admit, I have raced with Leopard quite a few times in the past over a few different leagues, and I don't feel cagey is something that isn't his in his racing vocabulary. You know, he is someone he'll fight tooth and nail, and maybe even a bit more, to try and make those positions if he feels, you know, that he can make the move work. But it's still all over the back of Joe here as they come up Eau Rouge. Just 5 laps to go of this Grand Prix, and I must admit, obviously with Spa being such a quick circuit, and obviously with solo laps, it just seems to go too quickly. You know, Spa could quite easily, you know, be a 32-lap race in here, and I'd be quite happy, you know, just to sit back and watch them race around this circuit, because it's just so brilliant as a track here. But seems Simon now. Leopard made a couple of tiny mistakes there, a couple of micro bottles, as I like to call it. And Simon, he's closing up again. He's closing up once more here. Still, that Williams, he's still sniffing. He's ready. He's ready to make any opportunities he possibly can. As Reynolds and Jork, you know, they're still there. Unfortunately, we've seen Midget drop out a bit more. He's had to 2-stop this race. I remember that now, because Midget, he's on a pad, unfortunately. Poor Midget. He's not a fan that he can't stretch his tyres as far as he also appears to have a bit of front wing damage, so incidentally there. But we've still got Joe and Reynolds still fighting over P6, if I can actually remember how numbers work. As Finn, well, he goes 4 thousandths quicker than his last fastest lap there, which is very interesting. Joe defensive into Blanchemont though. Leopard, is he going to be able to try and line up a move? Just, yeah, I think Joe's still parking that car on the inside. Leopard going to try and swing it right around the outside there. Joe shuts the door there, and Simon, well, the sniffing, it seems to be working now. He could potentially make the switch back out of the final corner. Not able, once more, unfortunately, to make that work there, as this could escalate quite quickly, I feel. And, well, this is, albeit, obviously, we don't want to see it crash, but obviously, but this could be, I think this will be where we spend most of the time towards the end of this race. I think we can all safely agree here. Reynolds, Jork, still just behind. All-rounder, just that bit in front. I feel that 5th place is all but locked in for him. All but locked in for him as of right now. But yeah, this is still very spicy here. Will Leopard and Simon able to make that move on Joe? He struggled so much through the first stint of the race, and I honestly thought it was just a lack of confidence. But, you know, maybe he's just got his head back in the game. And, well, now he seems to be a bit more comfortable with the car. As soon as I say that, he runs a tiny bit wide. So, cheers for always going against my points. But yeah, just coming through the no-name corner here. And Simon, once again, he just, I don't know what it is. It seems that everyone down the straight just can't get close. Leopard, 6th gear. They're very aggressive in that 6th gear, but it works out for him. He's going to look to the outside on the exit of Pill on there. Joe just a little bit later on those brakes, and Leopard all over the back, and there a tiny bit of contact made, if I'm not mistaken, between the pair of them here, as we go now to just, well, 4 1/4 laps left of this Grand Prix. And, well, Joe, he's just shutting that door. And, well, this is very interesting. Flying Finn, he's still setting those fastest laps, albeit they're not improving by much, but he's getting the purple laps in, and we're still talking about him. And I think that for him is probably very important here. But yeah, Leopard, it's just bizarre. He just can't close up down the straight to this McLaren. I don't know what wings Joe is running here. I don't know if he might not even have a front wing. Perhaps that's his key to top speed down the straights. Perhaps he's using an Indy car under that McLaren shell. But yeah, it's interesting. 4 laps to go of this race, as I said, and, well, this is, they're pushing each other around now. This is looking very interesting. But Reynolds and Jork are closing. This is where this could very much turn into a 5-car battle.
Yeah, I think it will. I think these guys are really smelling blood now. I think these guys in front are going to get more and more aggressive, because they know that these guys are coming up behind them. And they're at the solid point position, but it's like a hold position and don't fight to get to the front of their group. Yeah, Reynolds and Jork are going to be right on them. So they've got to fight, really, to try and get to the front of the pack. This is going to be a really interesting battle if those cars do join. And we've still got these 3 battling with each other as well. As you said earlier, we don't see a crash, but I think it could be a likely outcome here.
These are the top drivers on the Xbox platform. What are you on about, mate? These guys, they'll
we
keep it
haven't seen any crashes
fine
so far this season.
Not at all. And I think, well, this 5-car battle, this could be very interesting. 5 hungry sharks, as you worded it. Maybe it's Jaws 5. Confirmed there is Leopard. Thinks about going up the inside there through Stablo. That is certainly not the most typical overtaking place. Flying Finn, well, as you can see, he's just another fastest lap of the race. I want to see him go on like the final lap set like a 1 minute 44. If he's going to set fastest laps, he's got to do it properly. It'd take like 2 seconds out of the fastest lap, in my personal opinion here. But yeah, there's 3 laps now to go of this Belgian Grand Prix, and this, well, is shaping up to be an absolute cracker here. OMG, it's Joe in that McLaren. Still just about holding on. Tor Leopard in the Force India right behind him here still. Oh, Simon! What? That's a move. Fair enough from that one. Like, could be completely off guard there. Just dived it down the inside. In all honesty, I thought he was going to completely take Joe out there. But he's completely pounced on Leopard right when he wasn't expecting there. He certainly caught me by surprise there as well. And, well, this could potentially be the time, if I can get the right words out, that we see Simon try and make his moves on these guys all around him here. This is going to be interesting. Will he now try and pass Joe as quickly as possible here, as well as we've got Reynolds and Leopard here very, very close. Are Force India going to play the team game as well here? This, well, it's just got one step more exciting, I feel, because we've now got teammates right next to each other. Simon trying to look down the inside of Joe here, just about placed his car still perfectly all over, well, exactly where he can on the circuit there. Simon gets a better run out Pooh on there, well, sorry, down towards Pooh on Joe, weaving this way and that to defend that position. He parks it through Pooh on once more there, going very, very slowly through there. Potentially Leopard could capitalise on that. Joe just played so defensive through every single corner at the moment, and he's got a little bit of help here. Obviously, he saw Simon go for that late dive bomb on Leopard behind, so he could potentially be expecting a bit more. As well, Simon is all over this 5-car battle is certainly heat. Now, I remember a couple of for that, you buddy. Well, this is certainly 2 laps to go of this race, and well, what is going to happen here? Worst case scenario, Reynolds lag completely hurts everyone, but we can only wish that does not happen. He tries to think going for a move on Leopard there. Leopard runs into the back of Simon there and picks up front wing damage there, so unfortunately he's cracked ever so slightly under the pressure, and surely now he's got to let Reynolds go past, because there is no way in hell through that second sector. Simon goes down the inside of Joe though, just in front. Joe's going to try and go for the switchback move. Reynolds moves past Leopard there. Jork's going to be able to go past him as well. As now Joe and Simon side by side up towards Eau Rouge here. This could definitely be one for the photo, but there Joe just slots in behind there. Simon takes the curb. Personally, that one I find it will certainly hurt you given the chance, but Joe will have the slipstream. He's got the DRS. He pulls side by side up the Kemmel straight once more. He's going to squeeze Simon to the inside here. Is Simon going to keep it? Joe swipes across in there very, very aggressively to move to the inside there. And Simon, well, he's unfortunately had to slot back now down into P7 of this Grand Prix once more though, but he gets a better run. Joe to the inside once again here, and what this is turning into a crazy last couple of laps of this Grand Prix, James. I'm gonna have to catch my breath, buddy. You're gonna have to try and talk through this 5-car battle for a second. Oh, Joe runs wide as well though. I'm not getting a chance to stop here. Simon down the inside of Pooh as well, but Joe, he's going to try and come back on him. Reynolds is going to try and slip through as well. There's contact made between Joe and Simon there. He sends it back down the inside. Reynolds and Joe going to try and move past Reynolds even. Now moves up into P7. He's going to try and move up into P6. He makes a very, very aggressive move. And Reynolds there, 3 places made up in the space of a couple of corners. Jork goes through, Leopard goes through. Joe has dropped 5 places in one sector here. And now Jork going to try and look past Simon as well. What is happening? With just over 1 lap to go of this Grand Prix, Jork tries to keep it down the inside through Blanchman there. That'll leave him on the outside. Leopard picks up a penalty as well. Joe's trying to hold on. Simon squeezes out Jork there. Leopard tries to have a look down the inside of the pair of them just behind. And what is this turning into? 1 lap to go of this race, James. I'm going to have to take a drink of water there, buddy. You're going to have to talk us through this.
Yeah, I can see you really struck over a breath there by the end of that. But yeah, crazy fighting. And basically, what we expected, those guys of Reynolds and Jork catching up, they've done exactly that. And then they've done a brilliant job, because Reynolds has managed to get to the front of the pack really quickly. And it looks like Jork has got a chance of doing the same now. He's got Simon 6/10 up the road. But yeah, it's Joe and Leopard looking the worst of the shape out of this now. They're kind of out the battle in 9th and 10th with damage for Leopard, and obviously Joe not really quite on the pace. Oh, he's lost
a chunk more of his front wing. Sorry to cut over you there, buddy. He's just gone straight at the back of Joe, and well, he's lost even more front wing there. What I find ironic is these two were fighting and obviously caused this train in the first place, and now they find themselves both losing time hand over fist to all three guys just ahead of them. They're just watching them pull away here. But I think RG Matiz in towards the bus stop, though. We're going to cut to him, give him his moment of glory as he comes through the bus stop chicane. There, unfortunately, really not much time spent with him during this race, but over the line, he is going to win the Belgian Grand Prix. Comes back in fighting fashion there, and after a little bit of a rough Hungarian Grand Prix, he has shown that he is still the man that can really bring it to the flying fin there. He comes through P2, Evo there P3, obviously doing very, very well, and unfortunately STSF Alonso having a bit of a quiet fourth place then, and he bins it out of the final corner there. Jonas from last to fifth there, best of the rest through the final couple of corners there. Credits to him as well, having a very, very good race there, making the alternate strategy work. Now, as we've got a little bit of battling, no, I think that's just a little bit of lag there. I thought we were seeing three wide as we come down in towards the final couple of corners. Reynolds does very, very well to come through in P6. Simon just behind there, if I'm not mistaken, held level. Is a position through all that action for P7, Jork P8, Joe P9, Leopard takes home the final point there with Monkey Face Plays coming through in the Haskar. A little bit further back there is the Amazement. Amazement's doing his own thing now. I'm not too sure what his own thing is, but well, he's doing what he likes. As we can see, Monkey Face Plays though in the Haas coming through for P11 there, and well, that was an incredible race, I think, to say the least there. That, well, as you would have heard many times throughout, struggling to keep my voice in check there overall, but what a final couple of laps that was. Unfortunately, it wasn't right at the very front of the field though, but it's still certainly very, very exciting. Midget through in P12 with his teammate Sturm P13 there. Both BPRL guys unfortunately missing out on the points once more, as now is Joe run out of fuel, or what's going on with him? I'm not too sure. You know, he's got 0.67 laps worth of fuel.
We saw this in Tier 2 as well with the Silent Mole, kind of just driving around at the back of the field very slowly. I think this is just a bit of a laugh, really. I don't think he's got any problems with the car.
Well, you know, potentially. Obviously, this race
cross.
quite a lot of flat. Yeah, a bit of rallycross there. He's saving a bit of fuel. He's certainly helping out with that. You know, just making sure the Red Bull, you know, they're a nice eco team.
Yeah, and
I think is he gonna try and line up a move on? Well, he's still losing time to everyone else there, but I think I think we've just seen. Oh, I forgot. This is the end of the race, and I'm commentating over Midget's AI taking out Matiz there. So we've seen carnage around the circuit, cars all over the shop. Now left with no wheels here, but yeah, there we are. Then I'll let you, James, talk through the end of the race there, through the grid results. As hopefully we'll try and get the top three in.
Yeah, so Matiz in the end taking the victory. I think we're seeing the Amazement now doing a few donuts, which is nice to see. And he is just about going to complete the race, I think, with a few seconds to go. But yeah, it was Matiz who obviously took that race victory. Flying Finn ended up in second, Evo in third. Couldn't quite hold on to that second place, but still a good result for him. Then it was Alonso in a bit of a kind of no man's land fourth place for him. That great result for EVR all-rounder in fifth. A hard-fought sixth for EVR Reynolds. He really worked hard for that one. And then behind him in seventh, it was ESR Simon, another hard-fought seventh. Jork, 94 in eighth. MGHO in ninth. And Leopard will be a little bit disappointed to only get 1 point in 10th. Monkey Face Place was 11th, quite a big gap down there. And then BPRL Midget in 12th. BPRL Sturm in 13th, and the Amazement did eventually finish 3 minutes down in 14th, and then the non-finishers was Feisty Ted, a McLaren, and the Williams.
That was Cal.
Trumper.
Yeah, Arctic Avengers, Trumper. Myself and Gorse there as well, doing our bit in that race. But yeah, that was certainly a very, very interesting race on the whole. Fortunately, I think we've got at least two of the top three. Yeah, we do. We have both of the AOR boys with us then on the whole. I have invited Finn. I don't know if he's busy with some coursework or whatever for university there. I'll invite him once more. But potentially, he might not just be in the mood for talking tonight there. But overall, that was certainly a very, very exciting race. Took less than 40 minutes, though, for our race winner, the RG Matiz. And obviously, I think that sort of shows a testament to obviously how sort of... It was a race mainly in clear air for you, buddy. Obviously, congrats on the race victory on the whole, but just talk us through your race.
Best to start with quali. I saw a lot of people go out, but I just felt like it would dry up soon enough, so I just waited. And thankfully it was the right call. So I managed to get pole. I was thinking of doing the same strategy as Finn and Alonso, but I didn't really want to risk it. So I just tried to get pole, got it. Yeah, I thought my pace was good in the race. Managed to get away from Simon, was pretty important at the start. I did that well. And then behind me, Evo just doing a great job, I have to say, of holding up Finn, which was, I think, was pretty important. I think if he wouldn't have been there, it would have been a really interesting fight for P1 between us two. But yeah, it's a pretty boring race in the end for me, not gonna lie.
Yeah, quite obviously rare to see such a. I think, yeah, boring may not be exactly the right word, but yeah, I think certainly a less exciting race for you right at the very front there. But then moving on to the Flying Finn in P2, obviously a little bit more of an interesting race for you. Just talk us through that one for yourself, buddy, and congrats obviously on P2.
First of all, congrats to Matiz and AOR on the win and the double podium, GG. And yeah, second of all, if anyone from Codemasters is watching, please just stop making this game. Just get rid of your license, give it to someone else.
I knew that
because
was covered as well.
This is just ridiculous. I'm coming out of the
Evo told
corners
me.
right behind Evo, and instead of getting slipstream, I'm actually getting drag. So I don't know how that works, but I guess congratulations on making a game like that, because like, it's just a glitch that's been since last year, February, a year, and it's still not fixed. So you can't do anything with that. You have DRS and you're losing time on the straight. I'm coming right behind him. I'm coming out the corners right behind him, and yeah. But either way, Evo did a good job holding me up. I think that was actually a good defensive drive by him. Like, so GG to him. Really hard to get past him, and yeah, from there on it was just. I'm not someone that really like gives up. But to be honest, as soon as I went past Evo, I actually wanted to like retire. I just wanted to pause and retire. I've never been so demotivated in my life. It's just ridiculous. Like, but whatever. I'm not. Sounds like I'm depressed, but I'm just angry. You know, it's not depression. It's just anger because it's just ridiculous.
We all
but,
get depressed, it's fine.
It's like, just whatever. You know what? Whatever. GG to Matiz, GG to Evo. Congrats to AOR. And shout out to the two guys in STS, for Danny and Surprise for getting a 1-2 in Tier 2. And yeah, so see you next race, I guess.
Yeah,
We're
certainly.
seeing another drama alert edit now.
I think we might just be seeing that. But we'll move on then to NLR Evo, obviously. He had a birthday earlier on this week, but today, obviously, it may not have been obviously the race win like we saw at Hungary, but I think, still a podium can sort of, be a good sort of after birthday present there for you. Just talk us through your race then, buddy, on the whole.
It's cool, man. I would have done the same. It's cool. GG.
It's racing at the end of the day. James, anything to add, buddy?
No, not really. Just I think we saw really the depth of talent today in ULC. Obviously, you guys, you were saying you're having a really boring race, but we had some great racing behind, which was good to see. So if it's not happening at the front, there's plenty of action elsewhere. So another good race, and more the reason to come back next week, hopefully, and watch us talk through Singapore, which should be something pretty different from today.
It's certainly
One quick
well
thing, oh, sorry, Matt. One quick thing, thanks to everyone who's tuned into the streams this evening. Really appreciate it, and cheers to the leagues for putting on a really high standard of racing. And yeah, congrats to everybody, and thanks for watching the stream. I think that's about it for tonight, unless you want to add anything, Matt, James, any of the podium
I think
guys.
just obviously, congrats to all guys on the podium. Obviously, if there is still one more race tonight on the PS4 split, so there's still more Spa action to come. We've actually, for the first time I think so far this season, we finished on time, which is good as well. So we should be able to lead nicely into the PS4 race as well. Just coming up, obviously, in a couple of minutes there. But yeah, from me personally, obviously, congratulations to you three guys. It was a pleasure once again, James, to join you in the commentary box. And I'm not too sure, buddy, if there's anything else you wanted to add to finish us off.
I think that covers it all.
But yeah, so obviously, thank you all, everyone. Then Gorsh, I'm not too sure if there's any final words from our Supreme Overlord.
Yeah, that's about it. Just thank you, really. Really enjoyed tonight and a lot of action down there. So yeah, that's about it. You can watch the PS4 on YouTube. A lot of racing there, and I'd definitely recommend it. But yeah, have a good evening, guys.